All right, guys, we're back again with the views from the stand, and I've got gladiators that are bigger on the arena than you ever know, bigger than Maximus Aurelius, bigger than anybody you ever seen in the arena. And I'm going to Germany, the United States of America. I hope my brother is still in San Antonio or he's gone to El Paso or he's in LA now. I don't really know, but it's the biggest man in the NBA that I know. And I've got China, our ancestor. And I've got the one in Indiana, a babyface assassin, Abib Ayodeji. I've got Ayotunde Onobolu. I've got Mario Leo, the CEO of Resort Sports, a man who is keen on helping us fix our statistics and data problem in the MPFL, and quite a lot. Talking about the MPFL, Ahmed Musa, the Nigerian's top goal scorer, the World Cup, one of our highest cap player in the national team, came back to the Nigerian Premier Football League and came back with a bang. 2 goals on the good, missed the penalty, but that doesn't really matter. He left, came back like he never left. Okay. So we're gonna start with. I wish I could start with Manchester United and give Habib the chance to really pound on the head of the one who's not here today, Bobby. But I'm going to go to Ayotunde Onobolu. So one of the thing that has been bouncing in my head is this Brownie, LeBron James, number 9 and number 23. If my memory serves me right now, the last time I checked the numbers of their jersey allocation, but we're not here to talk about their numbers. We're here to talk about the fact that we had a father and son play for the same NBA team before, and if we have, what would be the impact of this to the family brand, the ubiquitous, humongous, head-shaking brand that LeBron James have already created? Is it going to be more pressure for Brony, or is it a good thing? Just make it make sense for me. Give me the science behind the whole madness.
Well, first of all, we've had a few father-son duos in the NBA, but none of them ever played together at the same time, like we witnessed LeBron and Bronny do on the court last night. We've had guys like Del Curry and Steph Curry. We've had Michael Thompson and Klay Thompson. We've had Larry Nance Sr. and Larry Nance Jr. But like I said, never have we had a father and a son play together on the floor at the exact same time. The first time it has ever happened in the history of the NBA was what we witnessed last night when LeBron and Bronny suited up. In terms of pressure, it brings no pressure to LeBron. I believe LeBron James has absolutely nothing again to prove to anybody. He's been to the finals more than most players have ever played in their career. He's won 4 NBA titles. He's broken so many records. He's the NBA's all-time leader in career points. He's the NBA all-time leader in playoff points. When all is said and done for LeBron, he's going to retire as a top 2 basketball player of all time. For Bronny, however, it's a different story because he comes to a league where a lot of people felt he did not deserve to get drafted. Some people felt there were better players that could have been drafted in his position. Okay. But all of that doesn't matter now because when you look at basketball, it's beyond what happens between the 4 lines of the basketball court. It's a huge business right now. And so the implication of this, if you remember, I don't know if you had an opportunity to watch the draft when Bronny was drafted at
Yeah, I did.
55, because organization, the board in that boardroom stood up in celebration, gave themselves hugs, and they were just in very high spirits. And I was wondering, why the hell would you have such celebration drafting somebody number 55 overall, late second round draft? But then I tried to put the numbers together and I realized it's the first time a father and son will be playing together in the NBA. So you better believe that a lot of commercials will be made. The Lakers stand to benefit a heavy windfall because of this move. And for the James family brand, of course, LeBron has so many businesses going on. Those businesses are set to actually expand because I believe, for example, that his barbershop show will have an episode where we have LeBron on one side, we have Bronny on the other side, and
Absolutely.
they're having a conversation around family life and around basketball. So it's going to be huge. I promise you, a lot of top tier franchises here in America are already looking for ways to engage both guys in different commercials. New concepts will be coming out. So it's a win for the James family. It's a win for the Lakers organization. And believe me, it's a win for the NBA family as a whole. So this is an unprecedented situation, which is going to really, really, really blow up. Whether Brony has the kind of career his dad had is a whole different conversation entirely. But in terms of the impact this move has, it's bigger than anybody can imagine right now.
Ayo, I know that you've given me just 5 minutes to hold you down. I don't know when I'll be able to hold you down again. I might have you on Friday or probably next week. I'm going to join you to this team so that you're a regular on a Monday and on Fridays if you're a chance. But I'm going to say this to the Nigerian kid that is out there. We've been talking about some successful Nigerian story. Chief of them all is China Acheru, who's got an amazing Nigerian story. You've also got an amazing Nigerian story. Once upon a time, I kind of like auditioned you, right?
Absolutely.
Murphy and the 18. And
In
the reason why I'm
2012.
saying this is people are quick to think that, oh, nothing good can come out of Nigeria. Oh, in Nigeria, there's no Nigerian dream. There's nothing. I agree that you're in the US right now. But you went through the Murphy and the 18, Brilla FM, Inspiration FM, Kwesi. You diligently did this. But then at the same time, you were a king as a keyboardist in one of the biggest mega churches in the world. But look at where you are today. In a few, like just 2 minutes, tell me, just run me through the way your journey have been in media and how you've managed to stay consistent.
That's huge. So, like you said, I had the pleasure of working with the almighty Elegbete from
Started,
2012. That was 12
yeah,
years ago
2012,
at
yeah.
Umbrella FM. And then I moved on. I was with Inspiration FM for 4 years. And I got to a point at Inspiration FM that was in January 2017. I felt, and this is no knock to Inspiration FM in any way, it was a personal thing. I felt a little stagnant because it was a routine now. Go to work in the morning, do your shows, do the news, go back home, work on the weekends. I felt like there was no growth. Okay. So I decided it was time for me to move on. I had no idea where I was moving after that. So I put in my resignation, the mandatory 30-day notice, and there was nothing on the horizon. And then I got a call from hotspots. Then they had the rights to show. It was the German Bundesliga, the Italian Serie A, and I think there was a Euro qualifier going on at that time. And I just turned myself in for the auditions, and I was selected as one of the live show hosts. I was like, "Yay, let's go!" And then I got a message in my Twitter inbox. We called it Twitter back then, and it was from the production team from Kwesi. And they were like, we're looking for basketball commentators. We're producing the Nigerian Basketball League, blah, 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 blah. We're wondering if you could recommend. I'm like, recommend?
Your
Can I
forte.
recommend myself? They said, yeah, but recommend other people. So I put in my name and I put in two other guys, went for the audition, and I remember the audition so well. We got there. I was one of the last set of guys to go in. When I went into the room for the audition, I saw the look of dejection on the faces of the guys doing the audition. And that told me they had not found what they are looking for. A few days before they had gone to Abuja, nothing. They couldn't find one person. So when they gave me the storyline, it was a San Antonio Spurs game versus Golden State Warriors. It was a game where both teams rested their starters. So it made it even more difficult for you to try to do a play-by-play announcing for that kind of game because you had to know the names of the players, many of whom normally would not have play time. And when they threw the thing open and they asked me to talk, I remember clearly the moment I opened my mouth and did the intro when the aerial view of the AT&T Center, it was called then in San Antonio, was brought up. I saw light beaming out of their faces. I was like, I know I got this. And that's how I became the lead play-by-play announcer for the Kwesi Basketball League. And after that, it was a friend, a big brother's wife that said, dude, it looks like there's nothing for you here. Why don't you try just get a visa, go to the US and see what you can do out of there? And I remember I applied to go cover the NBA All-Star in Los Angeles in 2018. The visa did not come out on time, but it came out in time for me to attend the NBA Finals in 2018. That was Golden State against Cleveland, game 4. at the Quicken Loans Arena, it was called, in Cleveland. And I remember I went there, joined the press conference. I got all my credentials, joined the press conference. I was able to ask Tyloo a question that actually went a little viral back in the day. I was able to ask Steve Kerr a question, spoke to a couple of the players, and from then it's just kept going. I covered the San Antonio Spurs for an entire season. Then COVID came, and then I decided, okay, you know what? Let me go to school and learn journalism, sports journalism, the American way. So I enrolled in school. I'm graduating next year by God's grace, and it's just been an exciting journey for me. And I'm hoping somebody can be inspired by my story.
Thank you very much, Ayatunde Anabalu. We would stretch more on these stories and expand more as we go, but we don't want to keep you for too long. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, let me go straight to the other guys. Now let's bring it back from basketball to football. Ayatunde is leaving us to go do some of the work where his attention is seriously needed. We would have him hopefully on Friday and next week, and subsequently will be part of the show whenever he's free. China, this weekend, you guys played one of the boringest game that I've seen in a while. That's Liverpool against Crystal Palace, who's not won a single game. Liverpool won the game, but it was boring. And let's be honest about it. Let's call it a spade, and not a garden two, as some people want to force us to see it. But I mean, as boring as it is, you got 3 points. Manchester United also played against Aston Villa, and Aston Villa are beginning to feel the heat of playing in the Champions League, and then coming back to play in the league, how difficult that can be. Let me go with you, China, on this one. Your goalkeeper is injured. Allison is injured, means that it could be a problem after the 12 days of international break. What do you have to say about all of that?
I think the team has Kehela, who was ill last week. That's why he wasn't dressed for the game. And then Yaros, who played, he was decent in that game. Yes, he just had a few minutes, and he didn't face much in terms of shots at goal in time he was there. But I liked his composure. I liked his build. I like the fact that he handled it well. In any case, I know the coaches know what they're doing. And if they had confidence in those three goalkeepers, they would have known that at some point in time there will be injuries, there will be illnesses, there will be suspensions. So just wait and see. By the time the team comes off from international break, Kehela will be fit to play. He will be fully recovered. So I think we have it covered for now.
The talk about Manchester United is still on. Now there's going to be an emergency meeting, and after that meeting, it will be decided who to go in. We've had this conversation many times here. It seems to become a Man United vitro show, but it is not. It is just the major talking point that we have to talk about. All of a sudden, Ruud van Nistelrooy is not even in the conversation. There's the talk of Thomas Tuchel coming in and all that. That's where I would drag Habib in before I bring in Mario. Habib, I know that you're one of those who wanted Eric Ten Hag gone. Now they are typing the letter. They are sorting out the legal part. They would announce a sack. We're looking forward to that sack being announced. As a Man United fan, you're not happy to see them lose, but you'll be very glad if they come back from international break for another defeat to cement the quick exit of the man and then the rebuild start. But then, if Thomas Tuchel is the guy that they are going to, we all struggle with the name, whether it's Tuchel or Tuchel or whatever it is. I don't know. I'll ask Mario to explain to me later. If that is the man that the Man United are going for, knowing that he doesn't spend more than 2-3 seasons at the club, he's also very quick to fight with his bosses. Are you not jumping? Is Manchester United not planning to jump from frying pan to fire?
Yeah, thank you, Dafi. I think it's pronounced, I think Mario will correct my pronunciation. I think it's pronounced Thomas Tuchel, if I got that pronunciation right. Oh, yeah, Mario said I got it right. So, yeah, I don't know if that's the way forward for Manchester United. First of all, I think Manchester United, they need to define their set of philosophy and ambition. What style of play do they want to play? And I think they brought in guys from Omar Barada to Dan Ashworth to different profiles to set and define the style of play Manchester United will play. So after that has been decided upon, one manager fits that profile. To be honest, I don't think Manchester United have defined their ambition, their style of play, and the manager is going to feel. First of all, if you are bringing in Thomas Tuchel, you are going to need a revamp of the squad. Thomas plays 3 at the back. He plays 3 at the back when he was at Chelsea. He played 3 at the back when he was at Bayern. You need a whole revamp of the squad. You need to bring in more defenders. You need to bring in more fullbacks, which currently we do not have that luxury. And you're going to share minutes between your attackers, basically the Amads of this world, the Rashfords of this world, the Zexi, the Oiland are going to share like minimum minutes because you are limited in the number of attackers you can play. So I don't know if Thomas fits that profile. And although Thomas has been shown to be very, very quite adaptable to the profile that he has, well, I don't know if Thomas fits that profile. But one thing I can guarantee you is going to be significant improvements from whatever nonsense Ten Hag has been feeding us to better, probably better points, better performance. I don't know if Thomas fits the profile, but I know there's going to be significant improvement if Thomas gets in. But as a Manchester United fan, I was quite disappointed yesterday. I wanted us to lose heavily, so it's going to be clear, like, you sack Ten Hag. There's not going to be a question or a debate of, oh, should we keep him? Should we not keep him? I was thinking Villa were going to build up on their form against Bayern and probably like smash us like 3 or 4 goals. And it's going to be clear. And Eric Ten Hag is going to be sacked and you replace him. And this is like the perfect moment to like replace your manager. 2 weeks into the international break, you can bring in your manager. You can work with the players down ground, build his philosophy, his ideas, and it's easy that way. But like I said, I don't think that the draw yesterday did any good for the greater good of Manchester United to keep Eric Ten Hag in the fold, which is quite disappointing for me.
Yeah, let me jump to Mario now. Mario, before the Champions League game against Aston Villa, Bayern had already drawn 1-1 with Bayer Leverkusen in a game where they dominated, where you expected them to win if the strength of play. That's why football is actually not played on paper. Sometimes it doesn't just bounce for you. But then they played against Aston Villa. I thought that they were lethargic. They were not really in that game. The speed of Aston Villa was way too much for them. Unfortunately, we didn't see that speed against Manchester United. And then again, they came back to the league and they drew 3-3. A game that they against Eintracht Frankfurt. I thought, okay, so Omar Marouche and the rest of them were good, but I thought that Bayern should have done enough to win that game, even if it is 3-2. What's happening with Bayern?
Well, nothing. They just play. I mean, I think 80% possession. Thomas Müller hit the post like after Mamouche equalized 90+6. So Eintracht Frankfurt did the Bayer Leverkusen on Bayern, and they couldn't bounce back. But overall, I mean, this game was fantastic to watch. Bayern dominated brilliantly, but couldn't control the counter attack of Eintracht Frankfurt. The counter attack was fantastic. Ekitike and Mamouche are in fantastic form, and just a brilliant attacking force. Yeah, I was joking with my family here that Bayern will definitely buy the goalkeeper in Omar Mamouche next summer, because obviously everybody who is threatening Bayern will be on the Bayern payroll the year after. So
I like that.
That's why I think it's going to be a very, very interesting time. But Omar Mamouche is a man on fire. It was his 3rd successive game with 2 goals in the Bundesliga. He scores on international soil. He was meant to leave almost, or everybody expected him to leave, but he's so loved by the Frankfurt fans, and he felt that appreciation, and he feels that humble love, and he decided to stay. And what he's now have is a comfort zone where he can live out his passion, his style, his speed, his confidence, and then he's a scoring machine. So it's fantastic to watch Eintracht. And yeah, in Germany, obviously, that was the top game of the weekend. Yeah, 2nd place Frankfurt plays 1st game Eintracht Bayern, and Bayern doesn't like the aggressive style of Eintracht Frankfurt. They've lost in recent years regularly against Frankfurt. So when Bayern took an early lead after 3-4 minutes, everybody said, "Well, yeah, Bayern is in control mode," and obviously their domination was incredible. But no, I mean, Frankfurt countered well and struck back, and yeah, an exciting, thrilling 3-3 draw.
Thomas Tuchel, that is possibly going to come to Manchester United. I want to know from you this. What's the thing about Thomas that makes him different from every other German coaches? German coaches are straight-jacketed, efficient, get the job done, create no problem, Otmar Isfield, I can go far. Franz Beckenbauer, Bertie Vogts, all of these German coach, they get the job done in the most quiet way. Thomas Tuchel is a different guy. Everywhere he's worked, he's fought with his management. He's had issues. He's disagreed. Either lose the dressing room or something. With the kind of chaos that they have at Man United, and Man United is a Fuji house of commotion, if we can say that. It's a sex pool. It's a crazy place to be. I mean, for me, I think that the Man United job is a poison chalice. Nobody wants to touch it. But let's even leave it. Is this the job? Let's leave Man United now. Is this the job for somebody like Tuchel?
I think so. He can make a difference. He's a granular perfectionist. He builds like a high stand and sits on the sidelines when the team plays. He stops the game when a player is 1 yard, 2 yard off their position. That's the granularity in his work. He uses technology a lot. He's a very modern coach, and actually a good man for the job. What I dislike on Thomas Tuchel is that he needs center stage. He needs noise. He needs bubble. That's why Manchester United kind of fits, because obviously if there is somebody who can fix Manchester divided into Manchester United, I think Thomas Tuchel can be that fix, because obviously he don't care about left, right, and center. He cares about himself, and he cares about the task and the duty and the role and the objectives. Then he can and really fit. But usually he's a man for 1.5, 2 years, because he burns so many bridges that you can't walk over them after that. So you have got to be careful. You got to know what you bring with Thomas Tuchel. He will bring fairly immediate success, to be honest. He will clean up the dressing room. He will get the ethics right. He will get the playing style right. He's got no legacy with the club. So obviously that's something Thomas Tuchel need to ship around, because obviously the backroom politics and Man United are crazy. But Thomas Tuchel kind of don't care. He just uses the dressing room and the playing grounds. But then obviously that will give noise to the comfort zone of Marcus Rashford. That gives a new opportunity for Harry Maguire to shine, because obviously that's the first thing Thomas Tuchel, from my perspective, will do. He will reinstate Harry Maguire into the starting 11 as the manifest. He will credit him as a centre-back of world class. And he puts Matthias de Ligt next to him, which he brought into Bayern. In a way, so but there will be no problem in adopting to a 3-4-3 or 3-3-2-2-ish playing style.
Right, let's jump to China. Ahmed Musa is a man who divides opinion. I've been in a press conference where a female journalist from Port Harcourt, that Port Harcourt area. You people, now I don't know where people smoke in that area, but I mean, Rivers State have the record of the only governor that have a live band. Let's not pretend like we don't know that. The only governor that have a live band for 3 years. So if you want to go watch a live band, you go to Port Harcourt. The governor is performing for free. Okay, but he's not a FCT minister. The live band is not allowed in Abuja, so he's not working there. So, and they don't smoke what they smoke in Port Harcourt, Rivers State in Abuja. But let's come back to football. The man is divided opinion. Some people don't invite him to the national team, or he's not good enough, he's retired. But then he came to the very difficult, combative NPFL, and he came like he never left. Like he never left. Came in, bam, 2 goals. Should have been a hat-trick if the Sunshine player didn't save the ball, didn't, Suarez the ball on the goal line. But whatever it is, what more can we say about the man Ahmed Musa?
Well, he's also known as the governor. And when you're called the governor, it comes with a lot.
He's a governor without a live band anyway.
Yeah, people will look at him and maybe the way he handles himself, the way he earns the respect of his teammates, both at the Super Eagles and at the local level here. And this is not the second time. This is actually the second time he has returned to the Nigerian league since his sojourn in Europe. He has also proved that he still has it. Like we say, he still has it. Now, the Nigerian league is difficult terrain. We know that. Difficult terrain to play in. Now, for a person who has been abroad in Europe, in the Middle East for upwards of 10 years, to come back to the Nigerian league and be able to do that, it's something. Some will say, oh, he scored against Sunshine Stars. It wasn't against Eyimba or Rivers United or Rangers. but you only play the person in front of you. You
True.
don't decide who you play against. Yeah, and for his third debut in the Nigerian league, his third, it's good. A brace, almost a hat trick. We want to see more of this. It was not just Ahmed Musa that came back. I hear Shehu Abdullahi also returned to Kano Pillars.
Yeah.
And when we talk about Ahmed Musa coming back home and getting the brace on his debut, we should also talk about some other Nigerian players whose careers in Europe are winding down. And I mentioned some names like Brony there. AFCON winner like Ahmed Musa. He's not playing football in Europe these days. Like Ogeyo Nazi, like Pego Ogude. These are players that could come back home and play like John Ogu and play probably the last 2 years of their careers in Nigeria. It brings a boost to the league. Remember when Rashidi Yakini came back and played for Gateway? I remember when Gateway, it was Gateway, I think.
Gateway, yes.
I remember when they came to Port Harcourt. We had an almost full house because people wanted to see Rashidi Yakini. Players like Sani Abacha had come back home, played for Gateway. Sani Kaita had come back home. Players had come back home. I think that the Brazilians, the South Americans do it a lot. They go back home when Europe is not working for them. So it's a good for Ahmed Musa getting 2 goals on his debut game for Kano Pillars. We want to see more of that. But the next question now is, will he make road trips with Kano Pillars? Or will he play just home games? Now you're laughing. Now you're laughing. Will he make because
how does Ahmed no think about it now. How does Ahmed Musa travel 22 hours on the road? Come on.
Hold on. Because I'll be in Uyo on Thursday for the Super Eagles game. The Super Eagles play on Friday. And on Sunday at the same venue, it will be the home team Aqua United against Kano Pillars. Will Ahmed Musa be in the squad? I can afford to spend 2 extra days in the U just to see Ahmed Musa play.
I think I can bet you that Ahmed Musa will be in the squad for the Uyo game because, one, the venue is good, the pitch is not AstroTurf, it's a lovely place. Ahmed Musa can afford to fly himself ahead of the team and get there and wait for them. That's I can almost certainly say.
And then we talked about it in my small group this morning. Now, if a team is traveling from Kano to Uyo for a game, that's about a 22 hours road trip. Then just one person flies himself. Okay. I'll leave it at that.
No, but that has happened even in Europe. That happens everywhere in the world now, where certain players go on private jets, certain players get special treatment. It's not. See, if we want to judge Nigerian football, let's judge it by the base rule that happens all over the world. Players go to international duty and their club go pick them up with private jets. Why they leave some others that they don't pick with private jets? Nobody complains. So it's normal. Talking about Brony Day actually would be calling it quits with football on Thursday, where he turns 37. And before then, he had requested that he wanted to play for Aqua United. But I think Elder Paul Bassi has not been responding. And they also reached out to Remo Stars. They've not been responding. Ikorodu City tried to get him to come play for them. But, I mean, you can't use the Keke Napep budget to price a Ferrari. So that's a very tough one. It's a difficult one. But another question I want to ask you. Finidi George won the league with Enyimba, came close, then won the league with Enyimba, went to the national team. People said he was lucky to win the league with Enyimba. It was like it was just lucky, it's not really that good. But it took over a Rivers United that was going down after Stanley Eguma. They were in their own chaos, and it's turned them around. What do you have to say? I mean, I know that anytime I talk about Finidi is your guy, you can never say anything wrong with Finidi George, but you're closer to me, closer to the action than I am. What can you say about Finidi George, his tactics, his methodology, and how he's revived that?
Anybody that says Finidi George was lucky at Enyimba does not watch the Nigerian league. We all watch the Nigerian league. We know how most of our clubs play. Apart from a few clubs like a clinic club coached by Abdul Mekaba, maybe a Fidelity Lechiku coach side at Remo, at MFM and Remo team. Most Nigerian clubs, they play basically the same way. It's reform football. Now, I remember when I spoke to Finidi before the Enyimba job started, I met him in the training camp and I asked him, how would this team play? And he explained that he would like to play out the back, like an expansive kind of football, like he played under Louis van Gaal at Ajax. And we dubbed it Finidi ball.
He told me the same thing.
Enyimba's first season was rough because it can't be easy to change the mentality of a group of players. But by the second season, I watched Enyimba games. I saw them play differently. I saw them actually pass the ball. I saw them actually play out the back. I saw defenders comfortable with the ball and not just lost the ball upfield. And that's how Enyimba won the league. They played some decent football. Now, for Rivers United, I've watched two of their home games. And it's difficult to judge that team from the home games, even though they are winning at home and winning away. I would like to watch an away game of Rivers United. Maybe you against Aqua United or in Aba against Enyimba, because the pitch in Port Harcourt is about the worst thing I've seen in my football watching career. No side can play any decent football there.
Garden City.
It's that bad.
It's not Garden in Garden City.
I watched the game between between Rivers and Enyimba in Port Harcourt, and both teams were struggling to just pass the ball. Not because the players were not good enough, because the pitch was not helping matters. So I can't judge Finidis football right now in Port Harcourt because there's no field in Port Harcourt. But when I'm able to watch an away game, probably in Bayelsa, which is not too far from me, or in Uyo, or in Aba, which I can just commute to, I'll not be able to talk about how he's playing. But they are winning. They've won all home games. They've drawn away from home, and they've won away from home, which are rarities in Nigerian football. So I would say, results-wise, he's doing well. Performance-wise, I can't tell yet, because what I saw in Port Harcourt was an eyesore.
There is an elephant in the room, and I like to address it and call on Mario to help me address it. Okay, so for Pogba, I would have loved to bring up the Lassana Diarra case with FIFA that is going to change football transfer and everything, but let's leave that for Friday. Paul Pogba will be free to go back to football in March. From January, he can start training with any team. There's a mention of him going to the MLS because before now, Juventus have already started proceedings that once they heard that Paul Pogba had won the case, well, that story was supposed to come out today, but these days you can't hide any story anymore. So Juventus are working at proceedings to terminate his contract. And once that is done, he goes to the US. Remember, this medication that he took that was prescribed to him by a doctor in the US, he took it in the US. And that led to vitamins that led to the testosterone level rising up. Okay, proof have come to show that it doesn't really improve anything in men. It's only in women that it works for, but it's on the wider list. So he got this ban that he's been out of football for 14 or 18 months now. Long story said, for Pogba, is it too early for him to be going to the graveyard of football in the MLS to go rub shoulders with Messi, Suarez, and the rest? Or does he still have the opportunity? I think, for me, I would make a pitch for him if I'm Arteta and say, come to Arsenal. I think that he's better than some of the players that Arsenal have got. And I still think that he can still play for some of the top clubs in Europe. I don't know what you have to say, Mario.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, if he goes to a dishwasher, puts his head in and gets his head kind of really cleaned and the desire to really perform and the desire to sort of really motivate himself and punish himself at the same time to go through all the physics of sport and the exercise and everything, then he's got great potential. There's no doubt. But when glory gets into your head and you expect everybody else to run for you in a team sport and you just want there to shine, then it's not working out. And I think that's where he's been the last 3 years before his kind of abandons, obviously. On sick leave officially, as media writes, and then in party mode every weekend. That's not the desire, and that's not the idol, and that's not the role model world football requires and world football needs and wants. But if Paul Pogba wants to prove a case and gets ready and comes back, he's a bargain. He's an advantage for every team. Yeah, not only Arsenal. Even in Man City he would shine. And he makes every team better, but he needs to want this. He needs to want this to make it happen. It's only him who can decide. And for me, obviously, it's great. Yeah, obviously for Juventus, obviously they go into financial planning now and saying, oh shit, yeah, we need to pay this guy millions of salary again when he returns. So rather kind of pay him out and kind of get him off our hook. And then he's free to choose. Yeah, I'm really happy. I mean, I've Paul Pogba came to visit an orphanage in Guinea. He's done some great stuff, which I didn't expect him to do. So he shows a sign of dignity and 2 feet on the ground. And I think that kind of trigger and that kind of earth sensing reality we will see the best of Paul Pogba again. That's my kind of summary.
Habib,
And the
wrap it up.
graveyard of football, I don't think the MLS is the graveyard of football, to be honest, because obviously hosting a 2026 World Cup is the platform of football in 2 years. And obviously that's why
Until they host
many other
it,
stars
I
that
would
direction.
insist that the MLS is still the graveyard of football, a league where people don't get relegated, where the competition is not stiff, is a graveyard of football. But Habib, wrap this up for us. You've got 90 seconds. The talk, Pep Guardiola is pleading with the EPL to reschedule their next season's fixtures because if they go to the World Club Championship, by the time it ends, it will be exactly 4 weeks to the start of the new season. And you know that the mandatory 3 weeks break that the players will take, meaning that they will only have 1 week before the season starts for the players to come back. What would you say? I know that you're a Man United fan, but what would you say? Are you sympathizing with Pep Guardiola and Man City on this? Because as it stands, let me disappoint everybody. Man City are not going to be relegated. 115 can charge is not going to work. It's a fictitious charge. They are going to be in the league. They most likely will win the league title again if Arsenal doesn't act up. And, so what do you have to say? Should they give them a special dispensation by rearranging their fixtures? Or they should tell them, you have a big squad, manage your squad?
First of all, I don't think the Premier League is going to listen to Manchester City. Pep Guardiola even said it in the press conference. They are not going to listen to them. And there's this report that came out, FIFA saying that all clubs should bring their strongest squad. And the question was basically put forward to Pep Guardiola, and it was like, what do they mean by strongest squad? Like, he has the power to decide which player is going to be in the starting 11. He has the power to decide which player is going to be in the squad. FIFA don't have the right to dictate to them.
I agree.
And tell them, oh, you're supposed to bring this squad, or you're supposed to bring this group of players in order to be marketable to the world and sell the FIFA club. First of all, I think I will sympathize with not just Pep Guardiola, but footballers in general. Like, there's this assertion being placed on them that because they are being paid lots of money, they should be